Ladies and gentlemen, we are back again for the meditations of a Christian saint. Today, of course, I'm here with Mr. Ajman Bunsu, who happens to be the author of this wonderful book, The Meditations of a Christian Saint. Today, we want to dive into the fear of the Lord. Many book of school of thought has described different meaning, or they've read different meaning into the fear of the Lord. Some, portraying it to be obedience, saying obedience is better than sacrifice, and because of that, be obedience to Osafo, but not obedience to God. Yeah. They've read into an argument saying that obedience to a man of God is the same as obedience to God. I mean, they know what they are doing, they know what they are saying, why they are saying that. But the book in Meditation 21 says that the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. Proverbs chapter 8, verse 13. That is what it says. Ladies and gentlemen, in honor to welcome Mr. Ajiman Bosu Ofa Akwaba.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So, Meditation 21. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil. According to Proverbs chapter 8, verse 13, and that is what it says: as pride and arrogance in the evil way and the forward mouth do I hate. That is what God don't like. Why did you choose Proverbs chapter 8, 13 to use as a meditation in this contest?
Once again, thank you, TRK.
You're welcome.
And thank
sir.
you, viewers, for all this while joining us, and continue to share, comment, and then also like so that the video will just spread. As we've been journeying through the book, we started off with who a saint is and vulnerabilities of men and all those things, as we mentioned in a while ago. So this particular meditation is also adding to the context of the fact that we have evil in this world, we have devils in this world, we have things that opposes life. So it's just a way for us as a saints to know how to live your life in ways which are not contrary to the ways of God. And that's why this meditation is very, very critical in the whole book that we have here.
Oh, okay. So the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. And in a contest or in a column, you said pride, arrogancy, and I mean that is what Proverbs chapter 8, 13 said. So why is the Bible, the Proverbs, saying that pride, arrogancy, and other forward mouth is the evil, the writer was referring to?
Yeah, I mean, I know, as you mentioned, it's kind of defining evil, but it's not just all evil. It's just in the context of what the passage of the Bible, that verse is fitting in, is trying to tell you these are the things at that time that he's talking about, the evil he's mentioning, because evil is broad. It's not just being pride or prideful or arrogant or evil ways, and then in the last one it adds his forward mouth. So in that context that he's talking about, is really drawing to our habits and personal level evil things that we do. But yes, I mean, we mentioned in the book about evil things that are against life, and if you spell it backwards, you get life. So anything that goes against life, and yeah, I mean, so many religions and institutional legislation, like laws, are built on avoiding evil, preventing evil in society. So definition of evil can be very broad.
Let's bring it to our daily lives and the respect or the fear of our fathers. What can we say to, how can we relate the fear of the Lord and fathers being the representative of Almighty in the family, as Christ is the head of the church, or Christ is the head of man, fathers being the rep of God in the family. Can we relate it to, and how can we, intertwine the mouth, forward mouth? Okay, before that, can you elaborate forward mouth? Because many people, it's kind of a big of English, Yes, honestly, yeah, it's a big of English. Forward mouth. It's forward is not daily English that we use. You bear with me, right? So when we say forward mouth, as a Chinese, what is the meaning?
So if we are just looking at English as a word in dictionary, then you are looking at lies, profanity, and if you're joining it to religion, which in the context of the Bible, then it's not just profanity, blasphemous, like your mouth saying and altering things which are blasphemous. But when the Bible talk about mouth, it's not just the physical kind of entrance area we have right here in our face, but rather what also you communicate in your mind can also be part of your mouth because it's also altering things. Although people cannot hear it, it's still altering sound, not necessarily sound, but rather uh, how do I even explain it? Because this is in your mind where you are
Okay.
talking to yourself, and that too, God hears it. So in those areas too, whatever that you are saying when your mouth is shut and you're still communicating to yourself or to God, to whoever that you are trying to say something to in your mind, that is also mouth that is speaking. So the things that we are saying in there, and the forward one is more like chameleon. It changes. The mouth is what
I
you
know
say
it
one
didn't,
day
it didn't
here,
throw
yeah, tomorrow you are saying something
then
here.
can I say obi otutu ni pantem, because you say different things to me, you go and say different thing to this person. Is that what it means?
Yeah, that can also mean. I mean, it can also means because the intent behind that mouth is towards evil, and that is what we are looking at. It's not necessarily what you're saying, but the intent behind it is also key. Because sometimes, for instance, your child goes to, you tell your child, "Hey, don't go to Walmart." Then he said, "Okay, go to HEB." So he goes to HEB. He goes to Walmart, but he goes to HEB next, and he comes back and he say, "Hey, what did you go?" He knows that when he says I go to Walmart, that's wrong because at the end of the day, you mentioned he shouldn't go to Walmart. But he said I went to HEB. Oh, okay. He lied. Although he went to HEB, but he lied.
He also went to Walmart.
He went to Walmart.
Instead
But
of,
when you ask him, where did you go? I went to HEB. The intent was that I wanted to know if you went to Walmart. But he said I went to HEB, which is an answer. It's
because he
true.
doesn't want to be rebuked. He doesn't
Yeah.
want to be
So we are
punished.
looking at truth here. He said, I went to HEB. That is true. But the intent behind he went to HEB, which was true, was to lie. Because, yes, he went to HEB, but when I asked you, where did you go? I wasn't really meaning you went to HEB. My intent was to find out if you went to Walmart. But whatever that you said was true, but it wasn't the truth as to meeting my intent. So sometimes people may say something which is true, but the intent behind it is a falsehood or is manipulation, is trickery, is treacherous. But the person that is listening to receive it, and then it's kind of a mixed meaning. You didn't understood what he meant. Intentionally he meant this, but you are looking at something else. And it is kind of diversion. It actually got your mind to look at something else, don't look here kind of thing. It's more like they say in a law court, you omit evidence. Right? You could have said something that could have kind of acquainted somebody in the law court, but you kept that evidence. You didn't lie, but you didn't present it when it was supposed to be presented. To everybody, you did everything, but you didn't go the extra mile.
Okay.
So, yes, so sometimes a forward mouth may say things which are true to the hearer in our understanding of truth, but the intent behind it is devious, is deceptive, is treacherous. And that is what we are talking about as a forward mouth.
Okay, so you've made mention of you use a child and HEB and Walmart for the analysis, and I like it because the next question I wanted to question I wanted to ask was about human personifying God or representing God in your family as the head of the family, as God in the lives of your children. How do we, explain these to children? Because lying is easy for the kids, because especially when they realize that they are scared of you, when they realize that you will punish them when they tell the truth. So how should we, the parent, carry ourselves so that our children will not be panicked and lie to us? By so doing, they sin.
So when it comes to lie, right? It's sometimes because I heard one Jewish rabbi, and the way he puts it, like your child, when he says something and is contrary to what you want, you calling it a lie. He says the reaction is not to beat the child, is not to yell at the child, but understand the child's thought process, the audacity he has, the ability for him to cook the lie. All these things are capabilities that the child has. I'm saying this to say, and as I said, when you kept information from people, in a way, it's a lie, but not a lie, depending on where you're looking at. Now, let's take a lie which was in the Bible, even in front of God. So the Bible talks about Abraham meeting two gentlemen, which we reading now, we understand it was God.
Okay.
And they were going on their way to Sodom and Gomorrah to destroy that land. And Abraham brought them in. And when he brought them in, he asked the wife to make them something to eat. And the gentleman, one of the gentlemen, told Abraham that Sarah is going to give birth to a child.
And Sarah
Laughed. And when they asked her, she said, "No, I didn't laugh." I mean, for anybody, that is very serious in front of God. I mean,
they didn't know that Sarah didn't know that they were God. Sarah didn't know they were angels.
Knew they were not ordinary people. Abraham, for one, knew they were not ordinary people. That's what he brought
For that one, it takes someone with a different eye to see.
So imagine now, a man, someone else would have been very furious that you are lying in front of God. I mean, you always lie. Now you're lying in front of God. But God didn't rebuke her. God didn't punish her. He didn't call it a lie. Right? And that's what I'm driving at. What we said is not necessarily the problem, but the intent, the motive behind what you said is what is normally the issue. So when a child says something that you feel is a lie, it is the reaction. Some parents who just yell at a child, "Don't lie to me, what's coming over you?" I mean, go through that emotional kind of attack to the child or emotional treatment. But as I said, from what I learned from the Jewish rabbi, was to understand the thought process of the child and understand that the child is now thinking in a frame which is, in a way, is advancing the mind. Because how she's able to, the capability and how able to reason and create a lie, and the intent, is it fear? Is he afraid of you so much that he will lie to you? Or does he love you so much that he will tell you the truth? These are the things that you'll be looking at rather than what he said at that moment and your anger and devastation upon the child. So yes, I mean, when it comes to a lie, what God called a lie and what we call a lie can be very two different things.
From the analysis of the Jewish rabbi, the question is, how many people in Ghana, in Africa, knows how to read the mind of a child? It takes someone with maybe background of psychology, someone with the background of theological, understanding of these things. It's not everybody who will really know that the mind is processing. Even I'm hearing it for the first time here. So I say tete akwara no ɛwɔ kwan ya wo yin a den omfiri ho. Here in this country where we live, some people, I don't want to mention any group of people, when you lie, they call it smartness. You are smart. Do you understand? When you lie, instead of looking straight into your face and telling you that you are lying is not good they call it smartness. So the smartness gradually build up to something big. And later on, when you have issue and go to a court, the judge is expecting you to tell the truth. This is a situation whereby the lie has been inculcated into your bones and your bone marrow, that you always want to look straight into somebody's face and thinking that you are smarting the person, or trying to cook a story to make it look nice, polish it, so that you will free yourself. But the judge or the lawyers will know that you are lying. But that one lie can result you in maybe 10 years imprisonment. Sometimes the lawyers expect you to admit that, yes, I did it, but do you understand? I have explanation. I did it, but my jatum me. Then the lawyer will have ears to listen to your nchirchiremu. To nchirchiremu no, when your explanation no then they will say, okay, yes, you said the truth. Last time I was telling you about one preacher who told the truth. I said, yes, I admit it. I admit it. Say it was my fault. Because of that, number of years and they had to waive some from it. Fine. It will be in the Bible. Some people lied to save a situation, save the nation.
Yep.
Then some people also lied to put themselves in trouble. And Jesus Christ said, "And ye shall know the truth." What truth are you talking about? And the truth shall set you free.
And that's the question. That's the question.
What truth are you talking about?
What is truth that you lie about? That is the biggest question. Because humanity, we've not still established what is true. Because if you say Jesus is true, Jesus is the Son of God, how many people will acknowledge that truth? If that is the truth, how many people would acknowledge that that is the truth? Right. So, I mean, you make mention about some people, and yes, to some people, your ability to lie is smartness. It's a way to calculate how you are smart. And as I said, because of strategy, because of planning, because of risk taking, for a mind to, and one lie, we may call a lie, right, leads to another. So to say one lie and to keep a lie, you need to actually
keep on building it.
So
which need a bigger part of your brain
like
to do
that. you need to be a Kwakwanansi, right?
Yeah.
To be able to do that.
It's not easy.
Yes. And if you're looking at the whole world, right, as we live, most people will say it's a system of lies. I mean, so many things that we live in this world, it's run on a currency of trust.
Even AI will tell you that whom you are is a lie.
There are so many lies that we believe. But yes, the bottom line is lies, right? Which is we always teach people not to lie, and we will not in any way teach you to use kind of lies as your way of living. But what is a lie in terms of sin before God? What God sees as a lie is always different because of sin, as I mentioned here. A lie is a lie, but a lie which God will see and we Christians call a sin, that you've sinned against God, is totally different in terms of what we human beings will call a lie. Yeah.
Because I always tell my children that if you do something and you admit it that you did it, the worst I can do to you is to insult you and be angry. So why did you do it? Like something like that. But if I catch you that you really lied, then I'll punish you more. Maybe deprive you from something that you love so much. I remember when we were in Germany, my girl went to school. We told her that when she go to school, at that time, when you behave well, they give you green color. She was in I think kindergarten or something. When you behave well, they give you green color. When you don't behave well, they give you yellow. And when you worse, they give you red. It means like even they punish you or they give you a timeout or something. So she had yellow. When she was coming home, she was crying. Why? I said, my father will be angry. So she came home and said, "No, I behaved like because she was crying. I didn't meet her with anger or with sense. Why did you get yellow? Because we wanted her to behave as decent as possible because she's the firstborn, so that the others will also do what emulate the kind of person she is. So on weekend, we decided, my wife and I brought the idea that, oh, Charlie, be a bad man. I brought the idea that we would take the kids, the two behind her, to Yabadu. We go to Yabadu is like a kids playground. That time too, the girl really loved to play. So we took the two to the kids playground. We didn't take her. And we left her with the grandma. So when we go to the playground and the boys were playing, we made a video call and the grandma showed it to her and she was screaming like a dog, a dog who has seen a cat eating from his bowl. That is an incident that she would never forget. Every day, anytime she says that, she said, that was the worst thing I have it to her. Since that time, she stopped getting yellow. So some of these things, right? Some of these things about trying to polish lie to make it look like smartness. I mean, the Americans say it will get to a time, maybe that smartness might, yes, it could save the person, but it could also put the person in
Well, I think we are not actually encouraging you to lie, but
Yeah.
it's a fact.
It's a
we
fact,
need to
yeah.
acknowledge.
Yeah.
At first, when I saw jokers, when I was like, when I was a child, I thought like a child. I thought they were foolish people. Like a joker, back home they paint their face, they try to say things for you to laugh, and I thought it was like, what kind of career is this? Like a joker, you just a joke, right? But when I
Comedian.
grew up, I realized that it takes a lot of smartness
Yeah, to
for you
create
to
that.
create and craft a joke, and it's a skill, and it's a craft,
Yeah.
it's an art. So I began to really, really respect them. And one thing that baffled my mind was the fact that sometimes when you are laughing at a joke, unknowingly you are laughing at your own stupidity. Like,
And you are as well
like,
releasing
yeah,
stress.
yeah. No, you may think that, oh, he's stupid for saying such
But he's
things.
saying
But
something
he's
that
so clever to craft the joke that you don't know. That's
You
why
don't
you are
know.
laughing. And I'm like, wow.
there is this comedian who
amazing.
said he doesn't understand why he's from Uganda. Yeah, when they came to San Antonio, I worked with them. He said he doesn't understand why. I don't know where he came that day. He doesn't understand why almost all the whole world they have one time. When you go to Germany, they have one time. Look at Germany, UK. I don't know whether they have different times, but he said I think Canada will have different times. He said America, almost every state has different time. The reason being that America has accumulated there's so much enemies in such a way that when they have one time, it will be easy for the enemy. It will be easy for the enemy to attack them. And people laugh too. People couldn't even stop laughing. That thing.
Yeah.
He was not saying something that is factual, but he was making fun with something that is
creativity.
geographically unusual.
Yeah.
Africans, you don't understand. Well, America. Now how do you? How you for about
Yeah,
six?
so yeah,
Nah, how you
imagine
about
you
six?
don't know, right? You be like, he's so stupid. What do you mean by
What do you mean
the
by-
country have too many times?
Too many
Like,
times.
you are laughing the fact that he's silly for saying that. But that was-
Because America for
knowledge
a
is
time for
sharing.
doors, you know. Almost that no much time in different. Over has 6 o'clock, I had 12. Over has 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
You see,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it takes a lot of smartness to I don't know whether you call that lie or but it takes a lot of smartness to create
Yeah.
that thing. Okay, looking at the fear of God, the pride we talk about, the forward mouth we talk about, the arrogance we talk about. The arrogance I see in the case of arrogance, some people think the arrogance is boldness. And some people also think timidity, or let me not use the word timid, because Matthew chapter 5, the Beatitude says, blessed is the what? the meekness. They think meekness is weakness. Some people think, but forgiveness, it takes someone with a strong mentality to be able to forgive. Young fan say obi ayo boni e show pan obeke say me and come fenche. But you forgive him then, not knowing that forgiveness is to release yourself from prison, emotional prison. If you forgive somebody, right? Say what obi ayo boni. Now, anytime you see the person, then your heart, boom, boom. You understand what I mean? So if you forgive and let it go, you see the person, you will not have any problem again. So if you forgive, you release yourself from emotional prison or emotional stress or whatever that might happen to you. Nti no, obia wo kwan obefa so a maybe obe define or be explain a certain statement. Say America say arrogance. Ebinum say obi oyo arrogant. Rollins people were thinking he is arrogant, but he was one of the boldest people Ghana can ever be proud of.
I mean, your boldness can be
Arrogant. Yeah, exactly. But some people were saying he's arrogant. Jesus Christ, because of his truthfulness, but people were saying he's disrespectful and arrogant because he would look straight into your face and tell you the truth. But Ushe Africa, where we are coming from, if we're a child and you tell the truth, we ask a lot of questions. They said you are arrogant, you are disrespectful, you are inquisitive, you like popping your nose into other people's affairs.
It's good that the Bible talks about God saying it, right? You have to also understand, because sometimes because of class system in this world, it depends on whoever is saying it. Is the person on the lower end saying it or the person on the higher end saying it? Because we all will look at arrogance differently. The rich man will look at arrogance differently, and then the poor man will also look at arrogance differently. But God, since he's over them all, his definition of arrogance is different. So that when the same word can apply to the rich man, and then the same word can apply to the poor man, or all classes of people on this world. So when God says someone is arrogant, then it is a matter of the person deeming himself above kind of what you have and who you are not acknowledging God. And that's why all these things that he's saying are related to fearing God.
Okay.
Yeah, so when somebody is very arrogant, it's not just necessarily towards men, because when God speaks, he speaks to all beings, which includes the powers, the thrones, principalities, and even all the way down to us as human beings. So he's speaking of arrogance, is somebody who lives and he thinks that it is not God that makes him live. He's very arrogant. His life, and such a person will not even acknowledge the life of other people, because he thinks he's above other human beings, kind of superiority complex, privilege, a whole lot of things that goes into an arrogant mind. Not the definition that I would say like a poor man would give to, because when somebody who doesn't have is in need and lacking this world, can take arrogance, the boldness, the riches of another man as arrogance, because because he too has, he cannot really communicate and associate himself the same way as the person that doesn't have it. So you that doesn't have, looking at the one that have, and because he's not talking low, meekly, humbly to you, and he doesn't dress like you, he doesn't behave like you. Oh, he's very arrogant. Look at how he's talking to us. Look at how he shows up, and he doesn't greet anybody. He expects us to all come and kiss his boots and greet him. Who does it think he is?
They don't accept
Is he
things
God,
like that.
right? Yeah.
They
So
don't
you
accept
begin
things
to
like
look
that.
at that person and think he's arrogant. And then the rich man also will look at the poor man. He thinks that because you're poor, you're supposed to behave a particular way before the rich man. So when you're talking back to him, how dare you? Who are you? Do you know who I am? Talk to me that way. You are very
Because of
arrogant,
money.
disrespectful person.
Yeah.
So so the way, because of societal differences, we look at words and experience life is different. And that's why most of the times, depending on whoever is saying it, he defines and interprets the scriptures from his experiences level. And then because his audience are the same way, they accept it and it becomes the truth. but that is not what God actually was talking about. It's just based on our own experiences. Like the word fear God. As so many men of God will say, if you disrespect a man of God, you are disrespecting God, you don't fear God. But that is a whole different definition we are giving it from our human being understanding of the word fear. Yeah, God doesn't want us to worship him because he can kill us, he will destroy us. Just like the old covenant used to be, people were very fearful of God. And it's not just the old covenant. If you're looking at every religion, and as I always try to let people understand that there are several religions, several gods all over the world people are also worshiping, you understand that fear has always been a tool or a useful word to use in a way to, or emotion, a useful human psychological state or human behavior to control people, right? Even in religion across the world. So yes, so many people define fear of God in that context when God is actually looking at fear of God totally differently. And as I said, his definition cuts across all life and all spiritual powers and thrones. But since we are limited to human level, we always define the fear in a human level. Or be afraid God will kill you. If you don't do this, God will do this. No. It's not that the way that God wants us to relate with him.
And Nancy, a lady be a say, we talk to a Methodist priest about tithe, and because the priest was saying that if you don't pay your tithe, you are an armed robber, and that is what the Bible says, or something like that. And me, I saw it like the lady. I cannot read the lady's mind anyway, but I saw it that the lady deemed it disrespectful because you were a pastor, but you were as well preaching to those who could be your mothers. Maybe some there are people who were sitting there who were genuinely not having money, but you were making them feel like they are armed robbers. And then it's hard because because you don't pay tithe. As of for they don't say they pay tithe, most of them they don't pay, some people read meaning into it. We as Yankasa, one thing I've realized is that every statement that comes from somebody could be interpreted like in about 1,000 different meanings.
And that's the wonder of a word.
1,000 different meanings. But Obi also said, Papa. Everybody think that my interpretation is
we are all wise in our own mind.
Yes, we are all. Into the say, if you don't take my interpretations or if you don't take my meaning, it means you don't like me, or it becomes a whole lot. But if you understand, say we all have different understanding, and you keep quiet and listen to each interpretation and pick something from it, in this world we will live in peace. Frankly speaking, this world we will live in peace, because issue happen in churches where church splits.
Yeah.
Okay, it's split. People think it's demonic. People think they will quote and say it's demonic. But I can also say that God has his own way, the reason why he splitted the people in a tower during the time of Tower of Babel, because the people did not sin. Do you understand? God said, I realize that the people are one. Okay? The people are one. Let's go and separate them. Let's go and confuse them. So in some time, no make to me, I can say in some time, if you are too comfortable and you are to be separate. Why? Because now some says go into the world and preach the gospel. One can say do you understand? So if I separate, because if you are so comfortable in Accra, you are comfortable in Accra. But Accra, maybe you are comfortable in circle. Now my call, going to preach the word there and you stay in circle. It's the same. Go to the word and preach the gospel. But because you are so comfortable, no, God is his own wisdom will come and separate you. But the best Bronsam said, Bronsam has said it. But Kwanya ebe faso be bano. Kwanya faso bano. The way it comes, that is what makes it anger, misunderstanding. Do you understand? Yeah, they make the separation something. All right, before I leave you, I can say everybody will explain his own, I say be a baby be a obia here. Dr. Nana Frakume J, no, a pharmacist or her, or say, if you understand, say, at a point in time, anyone who comes to your life come and serve a purpose. And the purpose are two or three. Either the person is coming to stay, to be your partner for life, or the person is coming to teach you something and go within a short time, or that something is positive, or the person is coming to teach you pepper. That pepper no so say also be to me atena na wadwe ho yie. Like I say, ade misua do ya de, but let me learn something from it. Okay, na be to me atena harmony. But if someone comes to your life and teach you pepper, then the person become your enemy. Banka yes anka Yesu Kristo anka say we need ebeba o, but ne nam no so ebeba no. Judas was closer to Christ, but he came to betray him. Obetray no kwa no ya punishment no. But in fast one him for the whole world when betray anka even yan fast one. You know it's happens like that. So if people will really understand, yes, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. So now kind what is evil? You explain evil differently. I will explain evil differently. But here in the context, Bible now can say arrogance, pride, and forward mouth, which is very, very that forward mouth now very dangerous than anything. I say what call hunusumu hasi no abe hunumu hasi we be say so in papa. You always want to scatter people, want people to know that you are the best. Meanwhile, you are the worst person. Before we go, give my viewers the summary of the fear of the Lord and the pride and arrogance. Let's try to, make it one, so that they will benefit. Because at the end, including me, before we leave.
Yeah, we always say fear of God, and I also say there's God outside of you and there's God inside of you. So if you want to fear God, you don't really necessarily have to look around in books, in temples, trying to find God to fear. But the very life that you have is from God and is of God. So you need to fear in a sense that you keep God, you keep your temple that He lives in there. Whatever that you are doing which acknowledges God, and then because of God, that is you fear God. That's why you say somebody fear God. Is that you acknowledge that there is God, because there are people that don't even believe that there is God in the first place. So imagine all of your life, the things that goes on in your life influence your decisions, your ways of life, because you know there is God. So that is what we are talking about here for the fear of God. And then it also boils down to life. We all define evil around life. Anything that goes against life becomes evil. So yes, fear God and hate evil, doing things that takes, destroy, and kill, steal, kill life, right? That is what the Bible says. The devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. So anything that do that to life is evil. So avoid and then stay away from those ones, as the Bible says. God hate those things. And then back to the forward mouth. We talked about lies. We talked about back and forth words. One thing that we all miss is how we use our mouth to orchestrate and then also shape our life. So the things that you are saying in prayers, the things that you're saying in your mind, those things are also will come and manifest. A lot of people believe in what we say, we get what we say, and it's true somehow. You may not believe it, but trying to let you understand that say the right thing. It's not necessarily telling a lie, is what we are talking about here, but say things that you expect you want in life. And stop saying things like somebody greets you, how you doing? I'm hanging in there. No. Hold on. You are hanging? No, you're not hanging. You don't even think about it, that you are hanging in there. You are never hanging. So don't say it. And those are the things we are saying, forward mouth. You say things which in the universe you are creating, but they are against yourself and against others. Those are also forward mouth. So yes, be careful and mindful of yourself and fear God. Love life.
Be careful and mindful of yourself, fear God, and love life. The fear of the Lord. Drop your comment at the comment section. Tell us what you think about the fear of the Lord. and the fact that people interpret statement differently. And the truth is that we should try and accept each statement. If you will accept, sit down, analyze it carefully, and pick something from it. Yes, maybe the person might be lying to you, but the lies, try and sit down, analyze the lies, look at where the person is coming from. If you deserve to be charged in court, yeah, fine, that is your own issue. But we shouldn't hold grudge against each other. My name is Atta Bafo Jambra. You can call me Mr. TRK. Today I came with Mr. Ajimambosu, who is the author of this very book, The Meditations of a Christian Saint. When you go to Amazon, it is there. The Council of the Living Saint, you can get it. The Council of the Living Saint, I know what I say. The next one, I'm bet you so, and the Meditations of a Christian Saint, the same, the same book. Now, when you go there, you get it, and it's also available in TikTok,
yeah.
TikTok shop. We have ebook, electronic, then audio, and what again? That's all.
Yeah, that's all.
The physical, electronic, and the audio. The hard copy, electronic, and the audio. I don't know only Amazon, right?
yeah.
But the
work
TikTok
on that
there,
one,
it's
yeah.
only
The hard.
the hard copy. Until we meet another time, we'll be expecting your comment at the comment section. Like, subscribe if today happen to be the first time. For the past 2 weeks, we've not come your way because of situations. You understand what I mean? Yeah, I mean, I wasn't well, number one. I traveled the following week. Number two, our kids were playing soccer. It's
combining
it's
this,
yeah, like a whole day. The week was full of engagement, so we couldn't get time. So don't think that we've forgotten about you. No, we're going to meet again. I love you. We love you. So love us the same. Peace. Bye bye.